Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Sickness is but another name for God. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Well, glad that you all have come to join me in studying A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. We're ready for Lesson 356 and A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. We're reading from the original edition. Here on Friday, December the 22nd of 2023. We'll also be looking at the Song of Prayer, which is the Foundation for Inner Peace's publication that you can find at ACIM.org. Lesson 351, my sinless brother, 351, wind blew my page. 356, sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Father, you promised you would never fail to answer any call your Son might make to you. It does not matter where he is, what seems to be his problem, nor what he believes he has become. He is your Son, and you will answer him. The miracle reflects your love, and thus it answers him. The miracle reflects your love, and thus it answers him. Your name replaces every thought of sin, and who is sinless cannot suffer pain. Your name gives answer to your Son, because to call your name is but to call His own. When you're calling on God, you're calling on the Christ in you, that link that keeps you inseparable from God. So when you're calling on God, you're calling upon your true self. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. So when you call upon God for help, to re-perceive, to be able to see the truth beyond the appearance, you're calling on God, healing, which was what the miracle brings to you. So when you're calling on a new perception, you're calling on God, your higher self, you're calling on the miracle, which is the change of perception from the world of fear to the world of love. And our associated reading is, what am I? I am God's Son, complete and healed and whole, shining in the reflection of His love. In me is His creation sanctified and guaranteed eternal life. In me is love perfected, fear impossible, and joy established without limit. Joy established without opposite. Joy is the same thing, really, but in me is love perfected, fear impossible, and joy established without opposite. I am the holy home of God Himself. I am the heaven where His love resides. I am His holy sinlessness itself, for in my purity abides His own. Our use for words is almost over now. Yet in the final days of this 1 year we gave to God together, you and I, we found a single purpose that we shared, and thus you joined with me. So what I am are you as well. The truth of what we are is not for words to speak of nor describe. Yet we can realize our function here, and words can speak of this and teach it too, if we exemplify the words in us. We are the bringers of salvation. We accept our part as saviors of the world. which through our joint forgiveness is redeemed. And this our gift is therefore given us. We look on everyone as brothers, and perceive all things as kindly and as good. Oh, the power of forgiveness. We look on everyone as brothers, and perceive all things as kindly and as good. We do not seek a function that has passed the gate of heaven. Knowledge will return when we have done our part. We are concerned only with giving welcome to the truth. Ours are the eyes through which Christ's vision sees a world redeemed from every thought of sin. Ours are the ears that hear the voice of God proclaim the world as sinless. Ours the minds which join together as we bless the world. And from the oneness that we have attained, we call to all our brothers, asking them to share our peace and consummate our joy. We are the holy messengers of God who speak for Him, and carrying His word to everyone whom He has sent to us. We learn that it is written on our hearts. And thus our minds are changed about the aim for which we came and which we seek to serve. We bring glad tidings to the Son of God, who thought He suffered. Now is He redeemed, and as He sees the gate of heaven stand open before Him, He will enter in and disappear into the heart of God. Okay, now let's, once again on our lesson, sickness is but another name for sin. Sickness is but another name for sin. So if you see sickness, you're seeing sin, is what he's telling us. And so we need to, but healing is another name for God. So we want a healing from our sickness. So we're calling on God. And the miracle is thus a call to Him. So when you ask for that miracle, that new way of seeing things where love is the reality of the situation, that's going to bring God. It's going to bring healing. It's going to bring sinlessness. Okay, the Song of Prayer, like I said, out of the Foundation for Inner Peace, and we're ready in chapter 3, which is healing, and we're ready for Roman numeral 3, separation versus union. And while you're going there, while you're turning there, today is what's going on around the world. Well, it's Abilities Day, and that basically honors people with disabilities and their caregivers. Be a Lover of Silence Day. Now, there's some power there. Be a lover of silence. And I realized that I was a lover of silence years ago when the children of my mom and I, we lived out here on the farm. And before she crossed over, we went to we were going to go canoeing, and we were camping, and it was Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend. And we had more social interaction and more noise and more music and more just cars and just noise on that weekend than we normally did in our whole life. And we came away thinking, I think we like being at home at the silence or wherever we can be. And ever since then, we've tried to go camping, in quiet places. And I've often thought, that should be just the way that campsites are, a little silent place where you can tune in with nature. Be a Lover of Silence Day, National Cookie Exchange Day, and that's for people who would like to have a cookie party, and each people, whether the family members or friends, make what they think is a cookie that everybody else would like, and you bring a little tin of cookies with you to the party, and then you share cookies. That could be a meal too. Of course, it wouldn't probably be a real nutrient-rich one, but maybe you should have a cookie exchange dessert and have a potluck also. National Date Nut Bread. You could make your date nut bread when you did that. And National Haiku Poetry Day. and that's a poem with 17 syllables, 5 on the first, and always 3 lines, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables. And it generally is evoking images of the natural world. That was the traditional haiku poetry. And I also want to tell you, before we start reading out of Song of Prayer, about the Dumbarton Oak. The Dumbarton Oak out of Edible Landscape. I said Dumbarton Oaks hardy female kiwi. And the Dumbarton Oaks hardy female kiwi. That's what forgiveness is the kiwi. Early maturing Dumbarton Oaks hardy kiwi ripens 3 weeks before Anna, the one we spoke about yesterday. One of our favorites. Original vine growing in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. Only 55 female kiwi ripens earlier at the nursery. Spaced 15 foot apart on trellis, zones 5 through 8. And you know, they recommend a 6 foot tall trellis with a T-bar on it, and then maybe 3 wires or rope or twine or rope or whatever going between the and you plant the plants at the T's and let it grow up and then trellis out. So that's the way that you would want to grow these hardy kiwis. And we're going to talk a little more about hardy kiwis over the next few days. There's a whole lot of good value in those, and they're kind of a Johnny-come-lately to the West. China's been growing them for probably for millenniums. The hardy kiwi can withstand the cold, where the fuzzy kiwi is only good till zone 7. That's why I haven't been talking much about the fuzzy kiwis. But if you're in zone 7, check out the fuzzies. And the word for peace in the Lakota language is Wolakota. 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 That's it. Wolakota. So peace in the Lakota Sioux. All right, now, I said we were going to look at our song of prayer. Let's get to it and take along with us again. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. You know, we want to have our takeaway when we leave this lesson at least. You may not get everything out of the text, and I would encourage you to reread it and reread it and reread it. But you'll at least get exposed to the text, or the song of prayer in this case. But I really want you to take away your lesson for the day. And be sure that you do those quiet times. I would encourage anybody in the world to take time to leave this world and close your eyes and be awake and aware and ask God for His message to you. Break the cycle of sight and thought and hearing, and try to just go into the quiet and ask God to give you what's already there. When you call on God, you're calling on yourself, we're learning. Okay, separation versus union. And also, since I was talking about your quiet time, morning and evening, try to keep that alive throughout the day by every hour of the day. Take an opportunity to say your lesson and find something to give God thanks for. Oh, what power comes to us by doing this. Sickness is but another name for sin, say today. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Separation versus union. False healing heals the body in a part, but never as a whole. Its separate goals become quite clear in this, for it has not removed the curse of sin that lies on it. Therefore it still deceives. Nor is it made by one who understands the other is exactly like himself. For it is this that makes true healing possible, that we're all in this together. When you see something in your brother, you're seeing it in yourself, and vice versa. We want to see our interconnectedness, that we're each hands, might think of it, but there's just one body. We're each different parts of that one body, the body of Christ. So again, false healing heals the body in a part, but never as a whole. Its separate goals become quite clear in this, for it has not removed the curse of sin that lies on it. Therefore it still deceives. Nor is it made by one who understands the other is exactly like himself. For it is this that makes true healing possible. When false, there is some power that another has, not equally bestowed on both as one. Here is the separation shown, and here the meaning of true healing has been lost, and idols have arisen to obscure the unity that is the Son of God. 2. Healing to separate may seem to be a strange idea, and yet it can be said of any form of healing that is based on inequality of any kind. We want to see our union with our brothers and sisters. We're equal. The only thing we're not equal with is in time, and time is an illusion. These forms may heal the body and indeed are generally limited to this. Someone knows better, has been better trained, or is perhaps more talented and wise. Therefore, he can give healing to the one who stands beneath him in his patronage. The healing of the body can be done by this because in dreams, equality cannot be permanent. The shifts and changes are what the dream is made of. To be healed appears to be to find a wiser one who by his arts and learning will succeed. Find a better specialist? Paragraph 3. Someone knows better. This the magic phrase by which the body seems to be the aim of healing as the world conceives of it. Instead of recognizing that the God in you, the miracle that you're calling on, is the wisdom that we want to learn to call on instead of those outside ourselves with learning. I mean, God may send you to somebody like that, but make sure it's that internal guidance that's leading you, not fear of the unknown. Someone knows better. This the magic phrase by which the body seems to be the aim of healing as the world conceives of it. And to the wiser one, another goes to profit by his learning and his skill, to find in him the remedy for pain. How can that be? True healing cannot come from inequality assumed and then accepted as the truth, and used to help restore the wounded and to calm the mind that suffers from the agony of doubt. 4. Is there a role for healing? Then that one can use to offer help for someone else? Again, is there a role for healing then that one can use to offer help for someone else? I'm going to read it once again. Is there a role for healing then that one can use to offer help for someone else? In arrogance, the answer must be no, but in humility there is indeed a place for helpers. It is like the role that helps in prayer and lets forgiveness be what it was meant to be. You do not make yourself the bearer of the special gift that brings the healing. You but recognize your oneness with the one who calls for help. You but recognize your oneness with the one who calls for help. For in this oneness is his separate sense dispelled, and it is this that made him sick. There is no point in giving remedy apart from where the source of sickness is, for never thus can it be truly healed. 5. Healers there are, for they are sons of God who recognize their source, and capital S on source there, and understand that all their source creates is one with them. Okay, catch this. Healers there are, for they are sons of God who recognize their source and understand that all their source creates is one with them. This is the remedy that brings relief, which cannot fail. It will remain to bless for all eternity. It heals no part, but wholly and forever. Now the cause of every malady has been revealed exactly as it is, and in that place is written now the holy word of God. Sickness and separation must be healed by love and union. Nothing else can heal as God established healing. Without him there is no healing, for there is no love. Without God there is no healing, for there is no love. Boy, doesn't that speak of our lesson? Let's say it again. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to God, a call to him. And the last paragraph of our song of prayer for today, paragraph 6. God's voice alone can tell you how to heal. Listen, and you will never fail to bring His kindly remedy to those He sends to you, to let Him heal them, and to bless all those who serve with Him in healing's name. That's a long sentence, and there's a lot there, and I want to read it again. God's voice alone can tell you how to heal. Listen, and you will never fail to bring His kindly remedy to those He sends to you, to let Him heal them, and to bless all those who serve with Him in healing's name. So to listen, we need to have those quiet times. That's why I so encourage you to take those quiet times. It makes you super. It's a superpower you can think of. Your meditation, your quiet. You're learning to be still. Even today, be a lover of silence day, where you can hear God's voice, the small, still voice within. God's voice alone can tell you how to heal. Listen, and you will never fail to bring His kindly remedy to those He sends to you, to let Him heal them, and to bless all those who serve with Him in healing's name. The body's healing will occur because its cause has gone. And now without a cause it cannot come again in different forms. Nor will death any more be feared because it has been understood. There is no fear in one who has been truly healed. For love has entered now where idols used to stand, and fear has given way at last to God. Okay. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Father, you promised you would never fail to answer any call your Son might make to you. It does not matter where He is, what seems to be His problem, nor what He believes He has become. He is your Son, and you will answer Him. The miracle reflects your love, and thus it answers Him. Your name replaces every thought of sin, and who is sinless cannot suffer pain. Your name gives answer to your Son, because to call your name is but to call His own. Okay. And I'm liking studying these different names for peace. Lakota, Wolakota, Wolakota, for Lakota for peace, Wolakota. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Wolakota, Wolakota, peace. Sickness is but another name for sin. Healing is but another name for God. The miracle is thus a call to Him. Wolakota.